Welcome everyone, and again my apologies for last night and our technical errors, but here we are today, and I would like to introduce you to Maureen Mulligan. As a commerce graduate and a specialist in human resources, Maureen now incorporates NLP and human behavioural profiling to underpin the art of people management with scientific practice. What Maureen also learned was that as a manager, we can adjust our style of communication to effectively influence, lead, and manage our team members. Also, that we can build a team that not only has complementary skills and experience, but that can also interact successfully no matter what their differences in communication style are. It's no longer only guesswork. Because of this, Maureen's whole world as a leader changed. Not only was she fortunate enough to be able to hire really well, but become much better at building trust and empowering her team. As well as having created 3 startup businesses in Australia and Japan, Maureen worked in senior management in the direct selling industry for over 16 years with Mary Kay Cosmetics, Nutrimetics, and Penguin's Learning Ladder. During this time, Maureen ran teams of up to 78 managers and increased and sustained her state's overall sponsoring and elevation numbers by 32%. Maureen says, as leaders today, we don't have the kind of unchallenged authority that leaders may have had in the past times. Our communication and negotiation skills have to be well honed, as we are not only responsible for the financial KPIs, but also the happiness and well-being of our team. In fact, there are measurements on the high cost of staff turnover, so the human KPI is actually now a financial KPI. This is especially true in the direct selling industry, where relationships are everything. Maureen's passion is to deliver as much support to leaders as she can to make their life less stressful, so that they can spend more time moving their organisations and businesses forward. Maureen says, because I have led teams in small, medium and large organisations, nationally and internationally for over 28 years, I have walked in your shoes and know how to target and deliver solutions to help you create your own winning team. I want to deliver happiness, the happiness factor for you and your team, she says. Maureen, that is a pretty amazing, lineup that you have in your history in the industry. So welcome today, and I will pass it across to you to share your knowledge with us.
So much for that lovely introduction, Paula, and welcome to all the Lillian team. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk last night, but here we are today, and hopefully in your own time now you can listen to this recording and then stop and pause whenever you want to just take some notes. It'll help you, I think, really deal with this really well. Okay, so we're going to talk today about building a successful and productive team. So hopefully you're all there and be able to follow along as we go. There'll be no questions, obviously, because this is a recording, but please jot down any questions you do have along the way, because Paula can get them back to me and she can answer them, some of them herself, post your listening to this recording. Now, it's great to have you with us. So we're going to show you how having a successful and productive team of consultants can help you achieve both your personal and your business building goals. We're also going to cover the art of communication in helping you sponsor new consultants and ensuring with your support as their leader, they will be successful. After all, in the direct selling industry, the success of your consultant is testimony to your own success. So first, you must decide, do you want to build a successful business? Do you truly want to do that? Can you do it alone? If not, are you prepared to learn how to engage, enlist, and empower others to success? We have a mixture of responses generally when we ask these questions, and certainly on your surveys, they're really quite informative for us and are very helpful to understand some of the challenges you're having out there. Paula, would you like to share what you've received from your respondents, some of the things that came back in this question?
Of course, yeah. So largest response that we had of why our consultants joined Lillian was that they loved the product and they wanted to earn additional income, which is for most people very important. And then some of the passing across, some of the challenges that people are having was with inviting people to their team is getting them to say yes. We found that most people are recruiting at or sponsoring at a party, followed then by online. So as our consultants and leaders know, our recruiting is down, and that makes perfect sense because so are our parties. So we're not seeing the people joining our team. But they're saying that getting a yes is one of the hardest things for them. And just reading through, convincing people that they can make money. So, and another one said not having the parties makes it hard for them to invite people to join the business.
Yeah. And I think you were sharing with me, Paula, that recently at the Direct Selling Association, with all the new high-tech things that companies have out there now and the use of social media, etc., which everyone is definitely involved in with all their businesses, still after all of that, what has come through is that the direct face-to-face party is the most successful for sales, for getting future bookings, and for sponsoring.
That's it. Sorry, that's correct, Maureen. And when I get those results, I will share them with the consultants and leaders, because I was surprised. With the digital world today, what the results were saying was people still want that face to face. They still need that, and they use digital, but they really still want face to face.
Yeah, and that is about building relationships. And I know there are lots of online relationships, but there's question sometimes is how real are they? It's great to talk to friends that we've already made face-to-face contact with and develop the relationship further online. But somehow a stranger online never really becomes a true friend until there's that face-to-face. And I think that's what we look at with the direct selling industry. It is harder to get people with time constraints now to commit to inviting people into their home and having a party. But we've got to look at how can we make that easier for them? How do we make that something that they might want to do? So it does all rest on getting that face-to-face party. Still do your online. But when you're in the business of building a business, and I'm sure all of you are if you're on this call, is because you want to build a successful business. You want to make your business work for you, not just you work for your business. And that's what having a team is all about. Now, there are skills involved, and you can all learn these skills. And there's also strategies that we can cover some throughout this call today and in future training. But one of the things we need to do, and that is to take action. Because the distance between dreams and realities is called action. Nothing will happen unless there's momentum. Now, the biggest secret in life is that there is no big secret. As long as you have a goal that you're committed to, you can get there if you're willing to work. That 4-letter word keeps coming up. And I know all of you ladies out there are workers. I know you have families. Many of you are working part-time or full-time job, as well as your Lillian business, as well as raising a family. So, you girls know how to work. It's being able to be directive with that work and being clever with how we manage the work we need to do and making sure we do the things that are going to make the biggest impact. So, how are we going to commit to doing that work? It's all about your goal, because your goal will be your driver. Because when you're in your own business, you are your boss. And I personally find that's, not always easy, because being your own boss, you might want to go out in the sun, and living up here on the Sunshine Coast, there's always fun things to do other than sit down and work. But if you are passionate about what you're doing, if you believe in what you're doing, and you have a strong goal, that goal will be your boss. It's the driver. It's the driver to help you do what doesn't seem to come naturally. And sometimes that is going out and talking to strangers and booking parties. That's not always natural for us. The amazing thing is that in striving for your goal, that brings so many more gifts along the way. Gifts including confidence and self-esteem and personal development. Standing up in front of even a group of 5 people and making a presentation, that takes a bit of confidence, but the more you do it, the more confident you become. If your attitude is positive, and I know all of yours is, that's why you're on the call, you can lift above your weight and conquer the world. I'll tell you a little story about a man named Sir Winston Churchill. He was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in the 1940s. And he, for one, certainly learned this when his goal was to fight to save the United Kingdom from the advancement of the Nazi regime. If he hadn't had this big, audacious goal, most of Europe today would be speaking German, and probably worse. The 2017 movie Darkest Hour depicts his struggle and his determination against all odds. And like him or not as a person, during this period he was very inspirational to the whole nation and also to so many other countries. He was able to galvanize the entire population to get behind him and to do the hard work with courage that it took to win. So that was quite a feat. So this might be a time, Paula, that you might, or when you're at home, just to pause the recording and write down your business goal or your personal goal. And this will be great to share back with you, Paula, I think.
Yes, I agree. I would love that if, ladies, you would share your goal with me. Send it through Messenger, text, or via email, or give me a phone call.
That's a great idea. And make sure it's not just your business goal, but the personal goal behind it, the big why. A dear friend of mine, Keith Abrahams, he's built an entire international business as a speaker and a trainer. And all he ever talks about is goals, is building and achieving goals. And
Maureen, just to interrupt you there. I actually saw Keith at the Direct Selling Association conference, and I've listened to Keith before as well, and his goal setting is incredible, and he has offered to do a session with us here at Lillian, and I'm really excited about that. So he's going to do that for us in the not too distant future.
Oh, ladies, snap that up. That will change your life. He is true. He's one of those, not just a speaker, he lives and breathes what he teaches. He's the shining example of what he teaches. So, wow, I'm so thrilled. That is the best news. I love it. Cancel everything to make sure you're there for that one. That's for sure. Okay, so he'll teach you things like writing down your goal actually clarifies what we really want. Also, then sharing the goal really makes it real. It's real, and it helps us make a commitment to achieving it. So when your goal is, and if you've got Keith coming in, all the more reason for you to start defining what your personal and business goals are. So that's a little bit of homework for you, which would be great. So next we're going to look at building the team. Building a team is called creating leverage. Okay. The power of one can be indomitable with an incredibly driven personality. We've seen that, people out there. However, one can be a limiting number as well. In the direct selling industry, leverage is one of the most powerful words. And in the Cambridge Dictionary, it means the power to influence people and get the results you want. Influence, not tell, not bully. I've just had somebody here doing some work for me, and he's complaining about his boss being a bit of a bully. So it's not about being a bully. It is about influencing, and particularly in the direct selling industry, we are not anybody's boss. When we bring people into the business, we are there to support them and give service to them to help them build their business. That's really, really important. Okay. Now, building a productive team will create so much leverage for your business. It's the key to all successful direct selling businesses today. Now, I've worked for 2 very large party plan companies, as you've heard, Mary Kay and Nutrimetrics, and also built a startup party plan business for Penguin called the Learning Ladder. And I can assure you that all of these businesses started from a handful of people doing parties and building a team by sponsoring others. and then helping them to become successful. So many hundreds of thousands of people have achieved their goals and made their dreams come true through the direct selling industry. It is quite a remarkable, remarkable industry. Now, what is it going to cost you? What's the cost in time to recruit, induct, and incentivize your new team member? The wonderful thing in the direct selling industry that usually the company you work for will do the incentivizing. So it doesn't have to come, the money doesn't have to come out of your pocket, but definitely the time and the effort does. You've already got training materials from Lillian to help you train the team, but more importantly, you are now experienced as a consultant and you can show your team how it's done. That's about belief. People won't believe they can do it unless they see somebody else do it and they're taught. This is a very interesting thing to think. Write this down. I'll repeat it to you. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Show me and I believe. Involve me and I learn. So tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Show me and I believe. Involve me and I learn.
I love that.
It's very powerful. So take your new team member with you to your party. That's the best way you can teach them. Let them watch you and let them participate. Give them some things to do in running the party. This will give them confidence and will help them learn how much fun it can be. This will actually save you time because you're earning as they're learning. And don't be afraid of taking more than one new team member with you to your party. Years ago when I was trained at Mary Kay, they sent me to Dallas, Texas. And I went out in the field for nearly a month and I was transported from one pink Cadillac to another all across the countryside. And truly, I was at one party where there were 4 trainees at the party with the consultant on the job learning. And it was very, very powerful because the guests at the party would see exactly how easy it was to learn in this business and how hands-on the consultant was in helping teach the new consultants. So your guests will then see, and your hostess will see, that it's indeed a business that trains and supports the consultants. This is something you really need to do because it's great for you time-wise as well. You might just have people that you ask at these kinds of parties when you've got people on. They might ask you, how do I join? And the fact that your new team members are prepared to train on the job, their effort will indicate their level of interest and commitment and how much time you spend in developing their skills. So that's the other thing. We can't pump people up. They've got to want to do it. So we've got to find out how we get them to want to do it. And that's going to happen in the sponsoring process, which we'll talk about a little later. So let's look at the dollar contribution of a new representative. Now, I don't know if you've done any sums on this, but we're having a look at, Paula, I think, with your team members separately, what's the average dollar contribution of their new team members and their contribution to your business in the first 6 months? That's a really good exercise to do because on that basis, you can see where there can be some vast improvements. Studies have been done and the results are directly related to how your consultants are signed up. That means why they join. And the why is always got to be the thing behind the goal. So your job in bringing people into the business very early on is to find out why they might need the extra income. What are they going to use it for? And why is it important to them? We need to get to that emotional why. And also how well they are supported and trained in their first few months in the business. What you do with them in those first couple of months is critical. Don't leave them to flounder because they will make their own decision about the business left in isolation, and it's probably that they can't do it, they're not good enough, they haven't got the skills. You need to stay very close to them in the first 2 months. There are some people who do join the direct selling business just to get the join now offer, and who can blame them because some of them are pretty fantastic. But they don't necessarily intend to work this as a business or even as a part-time income opportunity. And I know as a consultant, we keep our fingers crossed and just hope they're going to just decide, oh, that we'll really like it and they'll just start doing something. But the stats don't show that that happens. The stat shows that most people, when they come in without intending to do anything just to get the hostess offer, not a lot happens after that. This is why it's imperative to have that conversation, either at the time of joining or soon thereafter, to identify their goals and how you can help them attain them. When you show them how they can earn income in the business, assure them you'll train them, excuse me, assure them that you'll train them, they will be able to see how this business can help them achieve their goals. They might have a hefty school fees to pay. Maybe they're saving for a family holiday. Perhaps there's extracurricular school activities that they're out of reach due to the cost. Whichever it is, your job is to identify that goal, the income required to pay the cost, and to show them how to achieve that goal with their new business opportunity. Does that sound like more fun than just trying to get them to say yes? We're wanting to have that conversation. We're wanting to really connect. As your new consultants work to achieve their goals, they'll actually help you achieve yours. So that time that you put in bringing them in the right way is worth it. It might be time to work out what contribution the consultants have been making to your business, perhaps with your help, how this contribution could increase if they start to sponsor as well. So if they're really wanting to use the numbers and multiply it out, and I know Paul is going to do some work with you on that, how to multiply it out when you're talking to your consultant, that if they join the business and they're doing 2 parties a week, what happens when they've got somebody else who joins them and starts doing 2 parties a week? It's a multiplication game. And I'm going to leave that up to you, Paula, to follow through with them on the multiplication game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, acquisition is more costly in time and money than retention. That's the same in not just the direct selling industry where we sponsor people into the business, but all organisations that I speak to in the corporate sector as well. It costs almost a year's salary to bring somebody on board and get them up to speed. They usually say it takes about 6 months to get someone up to speed. We do it much faster in the direct selling industry because we've got a really good path to run along. But it's up to you to make sure that you connect and stay very close with your new consultant very early. So there's numerous books and articles have been published on this, along with many surveys. And I don't think anyone can deny that this is not true. Your income and investment in time, so your investment in time and effort, helping your new consultant build skills and confidence in the early days, will pay off if they have an emotive goal they're working towards. It's imperative that you help them identify this. And once they've experienced the success of achieving their initial goal, your job will be able to help them identify their next goal to keep them focused and productive. It's your job as a leader. But I've just had a thought with that wonderful news Paula shared. When you're sponsoring this month, what a great thing to be able to do to invite them along to Keith Abraham's presentation. That would be absolutely brilliant.
Yes.
And a great incentive.
Great way to start, isn't it?
Absolutely great way to start, because he'll be helping you do all the hard work and really getting to those goals and the emotive goal.
Mm-hmm.
You will learn so much and they will learn so much. So I'd be out there sponsoring like crazy. Once you know you've got that date, go for it. Okay. So the 10% factor, we talk about this a lot in the industry. What effect would it have on your bottom line with a 10% increase in productivity of each team member? So those of you who have people in your team, just imagine if each of them upped their game a little bit. If they're doing maybe 1 party a week, imagine if they started doing 2. Wouldn't that be fantastic? What if you had 10 new team members who were productive and increased by 10%? Along with your own increased activity of at least 2 face-to-face parties per week, based on your average sales per party, how would this affect your income? Does this achieving your own goals seem more achievable on this basis? Who'd like to share? Well, when you're talking to Paula, you can let her know and she can help listen to your goal and work out where everyone is at the moment. But writing it down is really, really important. Okay. So how many parties for you would you need to hold with your average sales? How many parties would your team need to hold to help you achieve your income goal? I'll hand that over to you now, Paula, just to work out an achievable scenario.
Great. Well, I put a few things together, and the reason I actually, this is per month, and you can see it on the screen now, that I put 10 parties because that just down a little bit further, there's going to be a little bit of a challenge. So I thought it was a great number to put down in the income. And I've put the average party at $500. So your income for the month would be $1,363, which equates to $314 a week, which is, a nice little bit of extra money to help with the, putting into the family budget, I think. And when I looked at all that, I thought, what would that be per hour? And if we work out, 10 parties at about 2 hours each per party, and then extra because obviously your host coaching and other, admin things that you do, that it would be about $55 an hour. There aren't a lot of jobs around today, that on a part-time basis that would give you $55 per hour. And then I looked at your team. Now, if you introduce 2 team members and they themselves did $2,000 a PQV in the month, that would probably be, if we're looking at an average of 500 per party, would be 4 parties a month. You would receive 4% of those sales, and that equates to $160 for the month for 2 team members. So your total income for the month would be $1,523 or $351 per week. For me, I think that would be, a lovely addition to a lot of people's family budgets. But then I took it that one step further, because 2 team members is a team leader in training. But if you wanted to have a pay increase, you would introduce and have 4 team members in your team. And if they all did $2,000 each per month, so 4 parties a month each approximately, you would be receiving 6% commission on those, and that would be $480 a month. That's a big jump from 2 team members to 4 team members, because you're getting a pay increase of a percentage rate as well. And you'll end up receiving about $425 per week. I don't know. I mean, Maureen, for me, that sounds, like the start of a really, great business. And then it just snowballs from there, doesn't it? I mean, you've seen it as well.
Well, you're talking about an increase of $20,000 to $22,000 a year in income. And, that any household is not going to sneeze at that, because when you put it in those terms, if it's school fees or if it's the family holiday, going somewhere special, buying a new car, I mean, you can actually do that. You can be the provider of that new car for the family. So it's really, it is a game of multiplication in this business, because no one sets the income that you achieve. It's what you put in is what you get out. And that includes bringing people in to help you do it. And having the numbers in your team is really important, but also working with the people when they come into the business, understanding what they're trying to achieve and helping them achieve their goal as well. You're not carrying them on your back, but you're teaching them how to fly on their own.
That's correct, because it's, you can bring people into your team and do like a big recruiting drive and bring lots of people in. But if you don't work with them and you don't find out what they want to achieve so that you can, guide them and help them, you won't see the growth there.
Exactly. Now, I think we'll move on to what we now call the new paradigm, particularly in sponsoring. Okay. The old paradigm I won't go into, but it was very much where you just sign them up, like you just said, sign them up, and some of them will stay and some of them will fall out. And but you burn a lot of people that way. A lot of people walk off into the sunset and think, oh, direct selling doesn't work. It doesn't work because they didn't work, and sometimes they didn't work because they didn't know how to work. They didn't have that understanding. They didn't even know why they were doing it. They just got caught up in the hostess offer or the join now offer or something like that. Or sometimes they just want to be around you. And that happens. Some people join your team because they just love being around you. So anyway, let's talk about the new paradigm. It's developing leaders who are equipped to support and grow a productive winning team through mastery in rapport building, communication, and training. and they are definitely more likely to succeed. Team members' goals are evoked and acted upon by creating coaching conversations that build trust, activate self-motivation, and self-set steps for action. Now, I've been trained as a professional coach, but I might tell you, at the end of the day, coaching is all about being truly interested in the person you're speaking to, facing them. I've done coaching by phone and it can work, but there is nothing more powerful than the at least one interaction when you first meet people face to face. After that, it's easier to do it by phone, and because you've already got that connection there. But it's really being in that space with somebody, really, really, really being in their space and opening your heart and your mind to hearing them, really, truly listening not just with your ears, but with everything else. So the relationships that builds then helps the representatives' confidence and the will to act. Their actions are more productive and income becomes more stable. And this ensures longer tenure with the company. Now, people don't stay forever in direct selling companies because some people stay and got the ladder, some people don't. But it's the time that they're in the business that's really important. And as long as we're continuing to sponsor and introduce new people to the business, then that won't be an issue for us either. It's just the way the business works. Not everybody wants to be in business forever on their own. They might want to be there until they buy that new car. They might want to be there until they, graduate the kids from school. Who knows? But whatever reason they're in the business, we need to make sure we support their goals to their achievement. And whilst we're still sharing the business with others, you will never be in a place where you don't have enough people in the team. Let's look at the next slide. We'll actually show you a little bit about what teams can look like. How are your team members connected to their role? That's important. How are they connected to you, the leader? How are they connected to the organisation? Getting people along to Keith Abraham's presentation will be really, really important for you. Do they know what their role is? Do they really understand what they're doing? They're not just selling a product. They're selling an opportunity as well to help others achieve the goals they want. How many people do they need to have in their team to make that leverage happen for them? So that while you're working, you've got 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 other consultants in your team out there working at the same time, and you're also benefiting from that. And what's the division, or what's your team? Do you have a team name? It's teams can be really interesting. They have a life of their own, if you like. And I think it's kind of fun when people do give them a name. And I don't think it's up to the leader to do that. I think it's up to the team to get the team together and come up with a name that makes them feel connected, makes them feel proud to be a part of that team. Where are they in your geographical area? Are they nearby? Do you see them often enough? Can they come to training? All of these things have to be worked out as well. Now, obviously where they're connected to the company as well is really important. So coming to company events will really help them too. Now, if you're having challenges with any of these issues, maybe there's some things you could offer Paula as suggestions for improving your consultant connections. That's something that could happen at the next training program.
Yeah.
Right. Now let's get into what we call HR Human Maps, which is my organisation. It's our sponsoring model, and it's all around communication. I love all those C words, don't I? Confirm, connect, create, commit. It's all about communication. The sponsoring model and process will focus on the relationship building aspect of the model in this webinar we're doing today. As I said before, it's all about relationships. Becoming the trusted advisor is the key to a long-term and engaging relationship with your new salesperson and also the customer. The big bonus in the direct selling industry is that the customer also has the potential to become a loyal and productive team member. So the time you're spending in hostess coaching could also be a benefit towards building somebody in your team. So we've got our 4 quadrants: confirm, connect, create, and commit. And each quadrant is critical in the new paradigm sponsoring process. Let's now cover each quadrant in learning the new paradigm. Okay, we've got to do our research. We need to know who we're dealing with, who we're talking to. So be totally prepared for the sponsoring meeting. Once you've made the meeting, really find out more about that person and be in the zone. Doing research is much easier today, of course, because we've got Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, and hopefully you've met that person at a party, so you found out a little bit more about them at that stage. Look for things like awards or accolades that might be there. What job do they do? Their connection to others? Are they part of any, associations? Previous or current job roles? They're all great talking points when you're actually speaking to someone about joining our business. You're wanting to build rapport with somebody. To do that, you need to have some background knowledge. And that background knowledge helps build a bridge to the customer. Just in my own world, I've been recently working with pharma companies for the first time. And obviously they're going to be talking a lot of language that I don't use on a day-to-day basis. So the bridge for me has been to understand their business model, look at their culture, their product, and their client. So I needed to learn how to talk their language. So I sped up my knowledge by attending, initially I was going to attend one of their conferences, but then I was asked to speak at one of the major conferences, and mixing with all the groups there was really, really helpful for me in being able to really build that bridge. So you may already know quite a bit about your potential recruit because they've probably been a customer or a hostess. When you share your I story is a really important thing. Now, at the start of this webinar today, Paula shared my I story with you, was a little bit of my background. And we do that because we like people to understand who we are. They don't want to stay as a stranger. They're not going to warm up to us unless they know a bit about us. They need to see some vulnerability in us. They also need to see some history in us. They need to know why you joined the business. So use what you know about your prospect and how you emphasize your reasons to joining. So remember, that's building the bridge. Why you joined, you might have 2 kids, they might have 3 kids. They might be going to primary school, secondary school, they might be into sport, whatever it is, find that bridge. So the extra income from your business is helping you achieve your goals. Maybe if it is with helping your kids sport, whatever it might be. And going out at night or weekends to do 2 parties a week is helping you achieve that goal. Don't say you don't have to work in this industry to earn money. I think that's a bit of a mistake that some people do make. They say, oh, you don't have to do anything, just join. No, if you want to do anything, you want to earn money doing anything, you actually have to do a little bit of work. But our work is kind of fun. Doing parties is kind of fun. Getting just to talk to ladies and sometimes guys about what we do and about our beautiful product, particularly your gorgeous jewellery. I'm a bit of a jewellery fan, as Paula knows. And I'm a bit obsessed with, I've been a Swarovski fan for many years. And I've shared this with Paula. Sometimes I just go into the Swarovski shop, even if I haven't got my budget for spending at the moment, just to feel good, just to have a look at the jewellery. But you know what? I always go back and buy something sometime down the track. So never underestimate the customer that comes to your party. They're coming to a jewellery party because they like bling. So, and of course you have that wonderful other opportunity is that you are doing something for the community. So Paula, that might be something you might want to expand a little bit on here as well.
With regards to at a party. Sorry, Maureen, I'm just.
Sorry, I've thrown this one at you.
You did.
When we're talking about sponsoring, what is something about this business that is unique? What can you say to somebody about joining this business? And I think it's something I'd be emphasizing all the time. That if you've got a business that's not just about making money, yes, it's about the gorgeous bling. And us girls feel fabulous when we're wearing new jewellery. And it's amazing how all your friends notice when you do. You realise that. So we're getting reinforced. Every time we put a new piece of jewellery on, walk out, wow, I love that bracelet. I love that necklace. We're getting reinforced that we made a really good choice in our purchase.
Correct.
Another great, when you're working in this industry, or if you're looking at this industry as a business opportunity, if you're putting something back into your community, I would be using that big time, because there are a lot of people out there who give their time for free and offer to go and help at schools, in charities, all sorts of things, because they really want to give back in their community. in doing your business, you're actually doing that.
We are on a few different levels, and whilst we give back to the community with regards to women in other countries, but we also give back to the women that come into the business with us, because we're giving them an opportunity. We're giving them the flexibility to be able to, bring an income into their home and contribute whilst being a mum, or having a full-time job or a part-time job, having that extra, some would say side hustle, some would want it as more of a part-time or full-time job. It's the opportunity to give back, and where they can do something as well for other women and helping them grow personally and financially.
Exactly. They're building a business around their family, and very, very few jobs offer that these days.
Correct.
And helping women overseas who don't have the opportunities we have in this country is something that would be close to a lot of women's hearts, I think, too. I think the empathy for that, I think, would be very strong. I would be sharing that with every party. I would be making sure that's a headline at every party I do.
Very much so. And I do when I'm out doing parties, and the feedback I get is very positive, because we like to give back. We like to know that we're helping in one way or another.
Absolutely. And be very proud of it. It's wonderful. All right, now let's go a little bit more into building rapport. How do you build rapport? Actually, it's about first impressions. Did you want to add something, Paula?
Building rapport?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's so important to build rapport, but to build rapport and in an honest and meaningful way.
Absolutely. And it's about first impressions. People, strangely enough, pick up your vibe. It's not always what you say, it's what you emanate from yourself. So that first impression, sometimes people will be drawn to you because they know you're warm and you're open and you're giving. And that's about building rapport. It can be by touching on high points on what you know about your prospect as well. So bringing them into the conversation, bringing them first. In some network events I've seen where people will go up to somebody and they just bombard them with information about themselves, and you almost see the person cringe and walk backwards. Where I've seen really great networkers who build rapport in like the first few seconds, will go up and ask a question about the other person, or make note of something that they might see their beautiful jewelry, or they might think they've got a great smile, or you were just there. I just thought I'd just come up and say hello. You feel so warm. Love to have a chat. And there's ways that instead of talking about yourself, it's giving the other person the opportunity to share about themselves. So we don't always get an opportunity to do that. So that's a very big thing in building rapport. It actually happens in the first 15 seconds, believe it or not. That's when people decide if they like you or not. You can certainly change their mind later, but hopefully you'll get the conversation happening if they like you in that first 15 seconds. And you can start again by touching on the high points from your research about the prospect. You might know a little bit about them already. And find the topics that are of interest to them and show them that you are informed about those sorts of things. We know there's two different general types, and this is not really going into psychometric testing in behavioural science, but it's just a little bit of a shortcut to kind of get there. Because there are two types of people generally. There's the overbuilder and the underbuilder, and they have characteristics. So whether it's on the phone or in person, we need a bit of time to evaluate the communication style of our prospect. So initially, our style needs to be a balance between the extremes. So we're going to try and match their style. We might be a bit of an underbuilder, more shy person, and they're very, very out there. So we need to match them a little bit by lifting up a little bit more and being a little bit more extrovert. If they're very shy and we come on as the big extrovert, we're going to frighten them away. So we need to quieten down a little bit. So the overbuilder will often take control. That's how you recognize them. They're very goal-oriented, but can be a little ostentatious and a little bit full of bravado. And that can be thought of as pushy sometimes. They are, however, comfortable asking the difficult questions and closing the deal. So they're not afraid to make sure that they offer you the opportunity. They're not afraid to get you to make the decision. So you need to have that in there a little bit. The underbuilder shows signs of modesty and humility, conscientiousness and reliability. They show high levels of curiosity and empathy, very important in creating that rapport. And it's always usually about the prospect, it's not about themselves. So we need to build that. If we're overbuilders, we need to get more underbuilding happening. And if we're underbuilders, we need a little bit more of that, not being afraid to ask for the decision. So by using qualitative questions that show curiosity and interest, really think about those questions that show curiosity and interest, not interrogation. That's the end. So being observant and knowing how to flex our communication style is critical. Being an observer of people is very important. And the art of listening, truly listening, is critical here. You know, I do a program that's just about listening and nothing else. And it does go into another part of the leadership program that I do, but you would be surprised. People are in tears sometimes at the end of the session, because often people have never been listened to their whole life. I mean, truly listened to. I'm just having a glass of water, sip of water. So it's the greatest compliment you can pay to another person is to truly listen. And it's listening with your head and your heart and your physicality. You need to show that you're listening. You need to move into someone, move so that you are facing them, you're open, your hands are down, your arms are open, and that you're listening through your heart. You're listening to the meaning of what they're saying, not just the words. So that's just a little taste of that true listening. And you'll know it when someone truly listens to you. When you have a good friend who will sit down with you, face you, and just be there for you. That is that true listening, absolute gift to another human. So let's go on to our next slide. So a few more tips now on how to build rapport. So these are just technical tips. Okay, what do you notice about verbal and non-verbal language? When a person's not making comfortable, or in a situation when a person's not comfortable, so what would you see if someone's not comfortable making contact?
Me personally, I see that they struggle to make eye contact.
Exactly. And what about their body? What's the body doing?
Sort of half turned away. They're not completely facing you to show complete interest.
Absolutely. And what might they be saying or not saying? What verbal noise?
Yeah, probably objection. You know, like coming up with objections all the time, possibly.
Yep. Or not really responding to the actual questions.
Yeah.
So you're not really getting any true communication coming from it. So it's very hard if you're playing that game. We play that game sometimes in a classroom where you have somebody who's really, really trying to tell you a story and really trying to get you engaged, and we have the other person doing that dreadful thing of being, not available. And it is that the feeling is horrendous for the person trying to communicate. And it's just, once you've seen that and you've experienced that, it makes you a much, much better communicator because you're very much aware of it. And of course, now there's a recent discovery on mirroring and matching. So the mirror neurons show us these things. Visual things show us that if we smile and make eye contact, we can help to mirror the other person. We ask conversational questions. How do you enjoy wearing your jewelry? Or how do you like coming and catching up with the girls for a glass of wine and being here at a party? Or how do you enjoy, your children's education? all of these things, just conversational questions, nothing deep and technical. And we seek our sameness to find a connection. If you notice that when you meet somebody new, you try and find out what they are like with you. Do they have a family? Are they married? Do they live in the same area as you? They like the beach, they like mountains. We like to find that sameness. Mirroring the body language is really, really important. So, if they're sitting with their arms folded, I wouldn't suggest you fold your arms, but I would sit forward a little bit and try and break into that space of theirs. But generally speaking, try and match their body language and they'll relax and probably even drop their arms. Respect the differences. Don't mirror and match more than two things. If you try and copy them too much, they'll think that you're having to go at them. Keep off yourself. Be absolutely genuine. That's really important. Just who you are is enough. We have to learn that in life, I guess, don't we? That who we are is already enough. We don't have to be anybody else. Show honest interest in others. Your facial expressions. So I'm going to ask Paula that because you're not online with me now. What are some of the facial expressions that you might hold in speaking or engaging with somebody else?
Obviously smiling. And one thing that I was thinking of when you were talking about all this is, even just walking past someone and smiling at them makes someone smile, it's, and that's mirroring as well. But I think with regard to facial expressions, it's that eye contact and smiling and nodding, I think that they're all things, not frowning. I think it's really important.
You hit right on the target there, and it's interesting. I've noticed since moving up to the Sunshine Coast, I love it up here. I lived in Brisbane 26 years ago or something, but I used to come up here quite a lot. I've always loved it. But living in Melbourne for a number of years down there, I love Melbourne too, but it's a very busy city and people are really, really busy. But you go on a tram down there, every time I go and visit down there, you see people on the tram, they're always looking down or reading something or looking at their phone. But if they just happen to look up and you just catch their eye and just like even a smile in your eyes, you'd be amazed how many people will actually give you a smile back. Extraordinary. But up here, such a friendly place, I find here if you do that just with your eyes, the smile with the eyes, the next thing that they smile back at you and say hello.
Yes. I love it.
Take you to the next level again. Yeah, it does make a difference. Verbally, of course, is a really important way of building rapport. It's not just what we say, it's the tone in which we say it, the pitch. Have you got a really squeaky voice? Not necessarily. That can actually be great. And we want to sort of have a nice pitch or a nice volume and ease in our voice. If we're speaking at 100 miles an hour, that's not going to work. I remember once at a meeting I had when I was at New Genetics, we had one of the drink companies come in and gave us one of those. I think we all had free those caffeinated drinks. And caffeine does have an effect on me, I have to say. And so I only had a half of one. And I think I got through the sales meeting in half the time. Or never having another one of those again. I just raced through it. Not a good idea.
No. People miss a lot too, don't they? They do. They feel like you're rushing them, that you don't have the time for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they were just wondering what was going on. I mean, I was looking at these blank faces and thinking, what's the matter? They kept me away from caffeine after that, so which is a good thing. And also matching somebody else's pace. If they pick the pace up, then you might pick it up.
Yeah.
If somebody who's speaking really slow, like this, and then somebody going, well, I really like to have this going with that and that going with this. What's going to happen in that relationship or in that conversation is that the person who's got the faster pace will get very frustrated because they'll be trying to pick the other one up, the slow one, by talking faster. And the slow one, we're trying to get the other one slow down by talking more slowly. So it's a very funny thing to play around with in a classroom when you're doing that as well. So it could be a fun thing you could do together with your teams. So those good old mirror neurons, they're at play all the time. So just to understand it, humans are built to connect. That's how we build trust, and that's how we create relationships. And how much of this do we lose only connecting on social media? We lose a lot because we don't have those facial unless we're doing a face-to-face. So I think, doing a face-to-face is pretty good even on social media if you're live. But if it's just all this talking and the texting and everything, you're missing out on a lot of that rapport building. So it's not going to be as strong. I'm not saying it's not going to be there, but it won't be as strong. It's fine once you've done the initial rapport and you top it up every so often. You can have those quick conversations and those social media, posts and things like that, just to keep in touch. But you need to make sure you have that. I know with really good friends of mine that are interstate. We'll just have like an hour's conversation. Well, I might catch up once a month, and this is an hour's conversation, and it's like we saw each other yesterday. It might have been 6 months because we built that initial connection. That's really, really important.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll just continue on with this rapport building. You see how much time I'm spending on this. There's a reason. It is critical. It is critical. So if I'm your customer, how would you mirror and match me? Listening to my pace today, how would you mirror and match me? Or you might have to go this. And those of you at home, you might sit down and write this down too. How would you mirror and match me?
Are you asking me?
Yes, sorry.
Or
because you only have my voice at the moment. So
I do. Obviously the same pace.
Yes.
You come across as very, calm and relaxed, and of course I would mirror that. And when we would be in front of each other. So I think for me it would be facial expressions, because as you said before, we don't do everything.
Yep, absolutely. This would be a great exercise for you to do with the team. I won't go right through the report building because the girls aren't online here, but it'd be a great exercise to do with your team. Together next time. You can have a lot of fun with this. Okay, so we'll move on to seeking connection. Seek common ground in 2 areas: issues they are facing and values they cherish. They're the 2 really, really important connecting issues. So the unspoken message is here: make me feel important and special. Show that you understand me. Let me know that I can trust you, that what I say to you is being taken in the right vein. You're not going to use that for anything else. After all, I'm already investing in this conversation. So if I've agreed to have you talk to me about the business opportunity, for example, and we've had a meeting, I'm already investing in this conversation. I'm actually halfway there. Getting a yes is not that much more difficult to go from there. And finally, don't waste my time. I'm really busy, so make my time worth it. So this is a big thing today. We are all so busy. Don't waste my time. So it's important that whatever we say, and we're setting up a sponsoring appointment with somebody, that we do make sure we connect, make sure that once we have that connection, we are facing or coming up with the issues and the values that are going to be important for this person. And the best way of finding out what they are is to ask. Ask, not interrogate, but ask what's important. You're a mother with 3 children. I understand, what school are they in? What year are they in? Are they sports minded? Just get the conversation going in that way, making them feel more open to having a chat with you. After all, most people love to talk about their children. If it's not their children, it could be their job, it could be where they live, it could be their interests. So you need to find that out, that they need to feel that you are interested in them. If you just launch straight in on the sponsoring opportunity or the join now offer, it doesn't make them important. That's just the icing on the cake at the end. And initially, if you're just talking about that, they're only going to join because they can get that offer. But once you've actually engaged them and you're talking about them, then you can tell them about this business opportunity and why you joined. Okay? It's important that they feel a connection to you, and then the reason I joined this business was blah, blah, blah. And connect that into some of the things they might have been telling you about themselves. Connect some of the reasons where there might be similarity. Okay. There's a client story I'll just sort of go over a little bit quickly here. We haven't much online, so I'll cover it. If we're really trying to find somebody to connect with, or if they're very busy, they're time poor and stressed. So this happened with a new lead that came through. There was the initial phone call to gain interest. Okay, so don't waste their time on that initial phone. Just see what the interest is. Have you got 20 minutes to give of your time? I've got a very exciting offer I'd love to talk to you about. It could be something you might be very interested in helping you earn some extra income. And I promise you, I won't waste your time. We'll just cover off what the opportunity is, and you can decide whether that's right for you or not. Tell them up front. Tell them you're not going to be pushy up front. That's what people really think. When you're thrown with telling people that's what you want to do, they're saying, oh, she's going to be pushy. I'll tell you what the opportunity is. I'll tell you what's so exciting about making a decision about that now. But what I'm going to find out is it right for you? Well, have a look at it and see if it's right for you. If it's right for you, then I'm going to help you take the next steps. But if it's not right for you, then it'll be just great to catch up for a coffee. Tell them up front, because you don't want them living in fear that you're going to drag them somewhere and make them do something. But be honest about it. Don't let them think, that you're not there for the right reason, because they'll feel ambushed otherwise. Always make sure once you've made the initial phone call to gain interest, or the initial approach, which might happen at a party, make sure there's 2 follow-up phone calls at her request, of course, making sure she's happy to reconfirm the time, reconfirm the appointment, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing her again. And then make another call on your way to say, I'm on my way, looking forward to today. It's been a great opportunity for me to come catch up with you and get to know you better. All about her. And make sure you've gotten the written join now offer. Okay. It's very important that you take her through that, but not at the beginning of the conversation. You can have it sitting in front of her or on the side, have it just tantalizing in the corner, but that's not the main reason you're there. You're not there just to push, you're there to see if she's going to be right for your team as well. So, that she's the important person. Is this right for her? You're wanting to find out that first. In that face-to-face meeting, she could be giving up 1 hour of her precious time. Hopefully it won't take an hour, but sometimes it does. If you're really in rapport with somebody and you feel that they're moving in the direction to say yes, then you can lead them into the next steps and start telling them what might be happening. The face-to-face is also time invested in listening to her and showing that you understand the issues, that she might have fear of public speaking, she might not think she's got enough friends, she might not think she's got the contacts. So you can use the skills you have in building your own business in just writing a list. Just write a list of 10 people that you know, because 10 people will know 10 other people and they will know 10 other people. So when you're inviting somebody to come along to a party, you get each person to bring somebody with them. So you show her the easy ways of building those contact lists. Okay. Always let her know that you are there to work towards solutions with her all the time. Again, she'll feel special and important, and she'll know that you're going to stand by her. What you're trying to do is show her that you will be her trusted advisor. She won't be on her own. And you'll be the champion for her own success in her business. So does that make sense? Does that really sort of make you feel less fearful about having that sponsoring interview? I know it does. It did with me. I had to, before I started with Mary Kay, although I was working corporate, they said to me, you have to book 10 parties and you have to sponsor. and you have to book. So I did the bookings initially, and then I had to sponsor from there, and I had to rebook those people. My big problem became later is who did I hand them over to when I went back into the office. But I loved that they did that, because it showed me I can't teach what I can't do. And, you know, in this business, everyone engaged, even in the corporate side of the business, really is about teaching and helping people and understanding what they're doing on a day-to-day basis in the business to get their business up and running and keep it going. So, but I remember that's what I had the same misgivings. Well, I don't know that many people to book a party. But, you know, I was given some great coaching. I rang those 10 people that I had. They got some other people organised, and, you know, before I knew it, it was I wouldn't say it's easy, because it was new to me. I'd never done direct selling before. So, but I understood how exciting it was to be able to help other people in the business. That's what was my big thing, that people got these gorgeous products. They loved them. I was able to teach them about the skincare. They had such a great time. They wanted to book a party for their own friends, and then also could see that there was an income to be made in the business lifestyle. And so the sponsoring happened there. So until you do it, you know, probably a number of times, it's hard to really perfect it. But you can do really well when you don't know much either. That's the best thing about this business. I knew nothing about it when I started, you know, and, you know, I did it, and did it successfully. So, you know, this was somebody coming in. I'd not even been to a party, I think, at that stage. So I did know cosmetics very well. That was the thing I knew. I did have confidence.
I think, Maureen, too, you know, with the way you explained it, you know, what I kept hearing was it wasn't about the consultant. It was about them. It was about valuing their time. It was about helping them achieve what they, you know, they're wanting to achieve. So you take the focus off yourself, and you make it all about them and what they want, you know, and it totally changes how the you know, time would go with that potential consultant.
Spot on. And if you mark it almost on your forehead, a trusted advisor. So when you walk in that door, that you just imagine that sign on your forehead. I'm your trusted advisor. And if you're a trusted advisor, the rest will follow. If you follow the process of we've just been talking about, the rest will follow. It's a whole lot more. It's actually rewarding for the consultant doing the sponsoring as much as it is for the person who's joining, because this is when people truly communicate with each other. It is like, you look at the word communicate, but part of that word is communion. You're having a communion together. You're sharing, you're breaking bread together. It's actually a sharing. And we are so busy today. So often we don't have the time to really, really engage with somebody to that level. And that creates an incredible bond for you as the upline and the new person in business. You always have to keep your word. Whatever you promise them, you have to keep your word. And I'm sure. But that early engagement and their trust in you as their trusted advisor, then they will come with you. Because often people won't join this business because they don't think they'll do very well at it. As I said, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to book a party and host a party. So I had to learn. As long as you can learn, you can do this business. You can do it, and you can do it very well, because it is about human connection. You've got wonderful products to share with women out there, and a beautiful reason for doing what you do. So
And the beauty is that we can make mistakes and try it a different way next time. We are allowed.
Exactly. And that's, if you are the trusted advisor, people forgive you a lot. You know, like, they don't expect perfection. And you know what? They don't know what perfection is anyway, because like me, a lot of them have never done a party themselves. So they don't know what it is to be a great consultant. So starting off, they don't know what to expect.
Yes.
So that's okay. So they've got nothing necessarily. They haven't got, you know, some champion consultant out there, party planner, to measure you to. So, you know, and let your product do the work. Follow along with the processes that you're taught by your company and how to run the party. Use the materials, the marketing materials that you've got. But your product is you, and you have to engage everybody at that party. And from that party, you can get those bookings for or the meetings, if you like, the sponsoring opportunity. I'm not saying don't sponsor at a party. by all means do, but you still will have to have that follow-up meeting, because this engagement and this really deep trust needs to be built very early in the piece. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone out there. Right, here we go. Next one is engagement. And again, we've been still talking about this as well. It's that connection that comes from conversation, and it's a two-way street. So one of the things we have to make sure is that we're not doing all the talking. So we need to be asking those qualitative questions. Okay, so when you get them engaged, that leads to questions, both yours and theirs. We need to stimulate them to ask those questions. We need to stimulate their curiosity to seek more information. So if they're not asking, so is there anything else I can share with you? What are you finding is a bit curious, or what are you thinking is that you just don't understand or you're not sure about? You know, how would you like me to express, you know, this to you in a different way that might make it easier for you to picture yourself as a consultant in this business? Help me to help you. Think about what questions are coming up for you. Now, the old paradigm would be, don't let them ask questions, shut them down, get the deal, sign on the dotted line. You know, now I've got a new sponsor. But guess what? They go away and have cognitive dissonance, and change their mind. It's like when we buy an expensive item and we might love it, but then we go home and think, oh my God, I've spent all that money. All those shoes were really, I'm often not going to wear those shoes. Oh my God, what have I done? So what we really want to do is open that out, have that dissonance happen when we're there. Get to bring that out, because we're the ones who can answer those questions. We're the ones that can help them through that and support them through that. So make sure that you get them to ask those questions, engage them to feel comfortable about asking the questions. And in sales training, what we're taught is the more questions a prospective client asked when it comes to buying a product, the more interested they are in purchasing. You're 90% the way there for getting a sale. So you want those questions, believe me. And what I will say is, selling the business opportunity is one of the biggest sales items you have in your kit, because you are selling an income, you're selling a lifestyle, you're selling dreams can come true. So it is a product, but it's intangible. The kit's not intangible, but the opportunity is. So you need to have that engagement even more so than just putting a product on a table for someone to pick up, because they can engage emotionally with particularly jewelry. And I know what I'm like with jewelry. I can really engage emotionally with jewelry, but you want them to engage emotionally with the business opportunity, and that's going to happen through you and from you being a trusted advisor. So let's go to some of those questions now. Phrase up great coaching questions that work and lead to more refined questions. We are a discovery marketplace, and we need to ask and ask and ask again. Questions do naturally generate out of a conversation anyhow. Sales coaches are well equipped with a suite of good questions. I was given lots of good questions to ask as a coach, and how to listen for the cues to get to the real issue. Because as a coach, when we listen, really, really listen, I might have 10 questions there, and I ask one, I might not ask any of the other 10, because the person might say something to me that gives me a clue that something else is going on. So I will then ask another qualitative question about that. Tell me about that. How does that feel for you when you're afraid to go out and stand up in front of people? Or, you know, what is happening there? Describe how that feels. So they're the kind of qualitative questions. You don't want yes or no answers. You want that person to really search through their mind and their emotions as to what's going on. And really, these conversations, the more you do, the more coaching conversations you have, the better you're going to get at it. In fact, you'll actually start falling in love with them, because you're really engaging with somebody. But there's a couple of simple questions I can share here too. This is something that you could say in this business opportunity meeting. Tell me about the gaps you might see in the development of a direct selling business. What do you think you see that might be difficult for you in starting up a direct selling business? Another question: what stands out to you as financial goals? if we've talked about what you can earn in this business, what's coming up for you that might, make you curious or wonder if you can actually achieve those goals? Okay, because we're addressing, these are the very things, these things that I'm bringing up here now, I don't know if you've guessed so far, these are objections that can come up when people think about doing the business. It's often not about the business opportunity, it's about them being successful in the business. So part of our model is addressing those questions. Better that you've got those questions being asked when you're there so you can work through it with the person rather than it happens in a vacuum. So another question, what steps have you taken so far to resolve your concerns about achieving your goal or about joining the business? What steps have you taken? Have you phoned a couple of friends to see if they wanted to book a party for you? What have you done so far to see if this is going to work for you or not? Because they're probably already thinking about it before you've come to meet with them, or they've already joined and they haven't really committed to doing a whole lot yet. So you're bringing up these questions that they're already there anyway, but you're there to help them as the trusted advisor. So we're going to coach the issue. That's asking a deeper and more specific questions. Identifying key issues, coach through that, and if there's anything to, offer strategies the client has in place to address it. So you're there to offer the strategies and help them through those issues. Along the way, you can examine how well these strategies are working and what measurements are used to see if they're working or not. Ask what issues have come forward regarding finding a solution to making a decision about joining the business if they've been thinking about it. What strategies have they come up with, time-wise, etc. Ask what steps they think they could take in resolving the issues. You don't solve all the problems. You get them to think, what could you do that might help you with that? You want them to learn how to solve those problems themselves. And if they're having difficulty, of course, you can make some suggestions. The whole thing is make it easy to say yes. I know that's some of the things that came through on your surveys. You're finding it hard to get a yes. So we need to make it easy to say yes. Let them know you are there to support their success every step of the way. Cognitive confusion is the thing that describes when people struggle to gain cognitive control in a situation. We're feeling overwhelmed in a conversation. Someone's talking us into something. Guess what? We put up a bit of a barrier. So this happens prior to people saying yes. They need to move towards a sense of control so they're not feeling overwhelmed. Their evaluation process may be around options, price, value, need, how much work I've got to do, etc. Think about when you yourself put yourself in the customer's shoes and take as much of the risk of a wrong purchase out of their hands as possible. You give them a feeling of control. If it was buying an expensive purchase, the salesperson might say to me, Maureen, you have 100% money back guarantee. You've got 30 days to return the product if it doesn't suit, etc., etc. So that's taking away my fear of making the decision because I know I've got an out of things not work. Or if you bought this this new Lime scooter, I'll give you lessons on how to ride the jolly thing so you don't fall over and break your neck, whatever it might be. Something that's going to help me make that decision. Okay. So if you address the potential objections up front and dissolve them in the customer's mind, they can move towards a yes. You make it easy for them to say yes. And you're going to get a copy of these notes. I know that Paul will send them to you. So go through. You can share some of your concerns before you made the decision to join and how you overcame them. That's a really good way. When I first joined, I felt a little bit like you. I wasn't confident speaking in front of a group of people. I didn't have many friends, but this is what I did and this is what happened. But don't add that up front. That comes at the back end. Outcomes are our objective, and the pain you resolve, the pain of that person, not being able to achieve something they want in their life, if it is the school fees, if it's the annual holiday, whatever it might be, identifying the goal, you've actually given them a way of resolving that issue. You're creating blue sky for them. And with this, it'll secure a yes. and eliminate any power over objection. So I hope that addresses two of the big things that came up in the survey, which was how to get a yes and how to deal with objections. So hopefully that helps, Paula. Do you think that would be a good way for them to start planning around that?
I do, Maureen, and also repeating on me. And I also know that giving them the notes, they'll be able to go through it properly, and yeah, they'll be able to overcome objections.
Yeah, and it's good follow-up training that you guys can all do together as well, which will be great. Okay, now the next step for our model is solution. So by paying attention to where the client is in the buying process, you can offer your solution in a relevant and captivating way. Sometimes people are ready to say yes in the first 5 minutes. Guess what? You let them say yes. You don't have to go through all of the other things. You say yes, but you certainly do want to follow up with their goals and so on. You don't want them, just saying, oh, I wanted to say yes, just let me join, will you? Of course, that you help them to say yes. Okay.
Yes, don't talk them out of it.
No, definitely not. So demonstration work, showing how your business opportunity will fit their needs by referring to other clients with similar needs satisfied, gives them confidence in working with you. Testimonials really help here. Now, by testimonial, you can talk about somebody else who's joined your business or someone else you know in the business, or when they started, they were working two full-time and a part-time job, and they did this on the side. And they still found the time for it because they really, really wanted to, this big goal, the new car, or whatever it might have been. So, and they started the same as you. They didn't know anything about doing party plans. So once they know that's happened for other people, it gives them more confidence. Okay. And what you could say too is that you and your business opportunity is the right fit for them. It's the right fit because now, if you see this as being a fit for your family, will this work for you to be able to do a couple of parties a week? How is that going to be with your, if you've got someone at home with the children, you might do the parties. How can you do your business on the weekend or the evening? Make sure you find that fit for them so you can help them see how it's going to fit into their life. Part of what we're doing with the solution, we need to activate their cognitive process. And that's by asking questions about how it would look, feel, and be if their issue or need was satisfied. Now, this is really engaging the imagination. This is giving them the thought, even get them to close their eyes. Just how will it be? Say it's this new car. Say this car you've got the second car, and it's rattling around, and it's gearbox is almost falling out, and this and this and this. How will it be when you go into a dealer with cash in the bank that you've worked for with your party plan business that you've loved doing, you've got the confidence, and you walk in there and you choose the colour you want? What colour car is it going to be? Is it going to be a sedan? Is it going to be a four-wheel drive? How is the dealer going to treat you when you go in as the purchaser? When you go in to choose that you've worked hard for? How is that going to feel for you? That building the dream, the feeling that actually gearing up. When the mind perceives that it's already done something, it puts everything in its power to make it happen. Your own mind will be the driver of your success by painting or having them paint that picture. How are you feeling when you get into the car? Can you smell the new car seats? How do they smell? How do you look sitting up in the car? Who are you going to drive and show off to first? These things are really, really important in really getting the commitment. You can get people to join before this, but this is about getting commitment. They are committed, and they're committed, you can commit to them. So you'll put the work in with them because you know they're truly committed. Okay. And then, of course, then by asking how they would see this achieved, so this is happening. How do you see you achieving this with your product or service or this business? We know they're ready to sign up or ready to buy. So that's the question we finish off with. How are you going to achieve this? Now you've seen it, you've felt it's not the new car.
how do you see this opportunity? They will actually come up with the pathway. Well, look, I don't, Tuesday nights are free, and look, Saturday afternoons are really good for me because the kids are, at football or something. My husband takes them, so I can actually do a party on a Saturday afternoon, and a Tuesday night's a good night for me. They will have the solutions. So that's what you're waiting for. Then agreement. Agreement comes by asking questions around the positive effect of taking action now. For example, tell me what it'll look like to see this product working successfully in your business. It's important to create a three simple step follow-up. Make contact within 48 hours to seek confirmation of the agreement and finalise the paperwork. Follow up with the delivery of the kit within 2 weeks or whenever it's coming through to ensure the customer is using the product or the service and is happy with the result. And continue to make contact in those early 3 months. Ensure that you are meeting with that person, they're coming to training, that they're coming with you to learn how to do their parties. Make the consultant feel good about themselves. Practice enthusiasm and confidence. Engage in an ongoing relationship with them. Expect every so often they might not be able to do what you expect them to do. Things do get in the way. And acknowledge that you don't have all the answers. You've got an upline to go to as well, which is fantastic. Turn disappointment into an advantage. If you're disappointed at any time, just seek that as an opportunity to help build their skills even further. So, before we wrap up, there's our 4 C's, our connect, research and learn about your client, build rapport, use the verbal and non-verbal skills, mirror and watch. Create the know, like, trust trilogy with your client. Build the relationship. It's a courtship. So you seek familiarity with things in common. It's like the first date. Then you go steady. Then you get engaged. Then there's the long-term potential relationship. You get hitched. Then you commit. It's the coaching conversations, listening and questioning skills. Coaching the issue. Find their pain points and the cost to the results. Outline the blue sky when the issue is resolved, when their goal is achieved. How will they feel? What will the new outcomes look like? Get them that cognitive so that they can feel it in their mind. Confirm, closing the deal. Tender your solution with features that are married to the benefits for them. Make sure you close the deal. So here we have the agreement for you to sign. We can get you started, get you into training. You'll come along to your first party and work with me on that, and we'll set your date to get your diary for, which should be agreeing to the next steps. Okay, so just a couple of little qualifiers, little things I'll add to the end of this, just little things that do get asked usually when I do this presentation, is your key group phrase qualifier at the party. This is one that really, again, sets people's minds thinking about, oh, joining the business. I never thought about that. But this is a key phrase, you know how, because everybody goes, I know how what? So their brain starts thinking, what do I know? What do I know how? Then you can add your own words after that, but you know how hard it is to make the budget stretch to that family holiday at Christmas, or to when you've got to buy a new car, or getting those school fees paid. So you start setting up in your mind just one of those things or a couple of those options there. Okay, that's a qualifier at a party to start the process of sponsoring, because then you can say, if you're interested in earning some extra money, doing something like this, didn't know anything about Party Plan, but now I'm doing this, I'm loving it, and I'm achieving those goals. So my school fees are paid now every quarter with what I earn from this business, etc., etc. That's what you say at the beginning of your party once you start, because then you're planting the seed for the discussion at the end of the party when you're doing the orders to say, you know how, what came to your mind when I asked that question? So you can bring that up again at the end of the party. Okay, so sponsoring mastery, the key question. What amount of extra income per month would make a difference in your life, towards getting that car, to supporting the kids more, to the education, of your children, just for extra family income to make life easier. So the question can be used at the party, over the phone, at one-on-one sponsoring interview. And the Join Now offer will create that sense of urgency. It'll help you close that sale, and it'll help you get them to join now. So that slide, I think, is going to be very important for you to use for your special offers that I know are coming up. We talked a little bit about the objections by raising them. Objections are usually just a request for more information and the fear of their own lack of confidence. You can ease their fear by the fact that they already love the product, so will their friends and family. Assuring them that you will teach them all they need to know to be successful. You will continue to support and coach them to success. You are their trusted advisor. There are hostess offers that create a sense of urgency for their contacts to book a party. And it's all about having fun and enjoying sharing the product and the business opportunity with others. So I hope that rings a bell and takes some of the fear away of sponsoring. So I'm going to hand over now to you, Paula, because I know you've got very exciting things to cover off on.
Thanks so much, Maureen, and thank you for all your knowledge. And it is about, helping someone see what they can achieve and how you can help their situations at home or personally, that sort of thing. I think that's showing them is so important in the conversation. Now, just moving on, as you all know, our hostess exclusives run for every quarter. So July will be a brand new hostess exclusive. What I would like to show you is what that is going to be, but I also want to share with you and give you a challenge to book 10 parties into your diary for July. Now, I know that seems like an awful lot, and trust me, I'm going to do this challenge as well. But if I could give you a tool that would help you get that many bookings into your diary, I'm sure you'd see that, it is achievable. So what I want to do with our hostess exclusive for July only, for every party that is booked and held in July, our hostess will get this personalised bracelet just for booking and holding a jewellery bar in July. Now, it's valued at $96. So they will receive that for free when they hold their jewellery bar or party in July. So it's one of our beautiful leather bracelets, the pink and red with 3 charms on it. A great way to start their collection for their personal bracelets. But this is something that you can offer when you ring up. So we have a special offer just for booking and holding your party in July. You will receive this beautiful bracelet along with all of our other hostess rewards. So it's an extra something by them receiving it for free and not having to pay for it, no matter, what the sales are. They can receive that. Now, this isn't for any open jewellery bars at the moment, and this isn't for when you hold an order or a jewellery bar, you put them under a jewellery bar in the system for a whole month, just receiving outside orders. This is specifically so you can go out there and get them into your diary, whether they be face-to-face or online. Now, as we spoke about early, and Maureen said that, and the results came back from the Direct Selling Association survey, people really do like face-to-face. Now, yes, we need to change it up a bit and maybe, make them fun and shorter, which is why we put together our themed parties, and you'll find that in the back office and on Facebook, that image, so that people want to get their girlfriends around just for a little catch-up, whether it be, in a lunch hour at work in the office, or whether it be in the park, or whether it be, an espresso get-together where it's very quick and you just focus on a few things. So use this to fill your diary, and then that hostess exclusive will continue on for the 3 months, but for July only, they will receive that just for booking and holding. Now, the other thing that I want to share with you is our July offer for anyone who joins our team. And this is, it's Christmas in July. Why not launch your new career with a merry little box of Christmas? And our two larger packs, the referral and the ultimate, come with additional jewelry. So our referral pack gets an additional $97 worth of jewelry on top of the already amazing $350 value. And our ultimate pack will receive an extra $170 worth of jewelry, and they're already $650 value pack. So it's they're both great packs to get their business off to the best possible start. We're not, I don't want you to share the jewelry that's out there, like that's in the pack with everybody out there, because we don't want people just buying the packs so that they get the jewelry and not run it as their career and their business. So we are sharing it like this with the extra jewelry and just saying the value of it. We will also be advertising this on our Facebook page. Not always this particular flyer, but we'll be putting it out there about having a career with us and the reasons why. So, we want to get those people in our teams. We want to build the business. You saw at the beginning, when I shared the income you can earn, and going along with what Maureen was sharing and how to get someone to say yes and how to set them up for success by asking them why they're joining and what they want to achieve with regards to, is it they want to have pay for the school fees or the family holiday, and getting them to set those goals so that you get them off to the best possible start. And let's not forget our Fast Start program. Everybody needs to start their business off with that, because then they can earn more to add to their kit so that they have it while they're and able to show it to their customers once they start their business off. We want to give them every opportunity to receive product for free so that they can be out there sharing it. What do you think, Maureen? Do you think they're two, great?
Wow. I think from what we've just been talking about now, this is the excitement that's going to help the consultants go out there and the leaders to go out there and build their team. I think gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
And really, I think if they get those 10 bookings in their diary, I honestly believe that, and they're sharing the business opportunity or the opportunity, that they will get at least 2 recruits into July each that are ready to start off, and they then become a team leader in training and start earning, income from the girls that they're getting off to a great start.
Absolutely. And making every connection a true connection. That's what will do it, because people will join you. They'll want to have what you're having. Who wouldn't want to work in this beautiful business of yours? I mean, it's feel good all the way around, isn't it?
It is. We're giving back. We're giving back to so many. Where also it's an opportunity. I mean, everyone's talking about a recession, and in the number of years that I have been in the direct selling industry, whenever we're going into a recession, it's the best possible time to join and have your own business, so that you're bringing an income into your home as well, into the family, So it's the perfect time to invite people to join so that they can be earning an income.
Can I just add to that too? In my experience with the companies I've worked for over the years, and international, that I know from working in international with them, that a recession or downturn in the economy is interestingly enough the best climate for the direct selling industry. It is.
It's proven. It's proven, because people are looking for extra money. They're still going to spend, they're still going to spend money, but they're also looking for extra money.
And through direct selling, they can buy it at the best price, because if they've joined the business, they're not paying full price anymore, are they?
Correct. Very true. Very true.
Very exciting, everyone. I hope you run with this one big time. Grab it with both hands and run with it.
I actually think we should do a booking blitz all together. I think as a team we should do a booking blitz so that everyone gets on the phone and we're out there offering that beautiful bracelet. Me too, because I need to get 10 bookings in my diary. I don't have 10. And so that we're all working together and filling our diaries and cheering each other on and supporting each other, because we'll get no's. We know that. That's part of the business. So we're there to support when that happens, but we're cheering, and getting excited when people get yeses. What do you think, Maureen? I think that's a great thing to do.
Doing it together is great. I've seen that work. We've done a couple of those when I was in Melbourne at our big centre there. We just got all telephones all around the place with the mobile phones. It's great now, and everyone would just jump up and scream when they got another booking, and it was so good. And everyone was there to support and coach each other and encourage each other forward. It's great. Let each other know when you get another one, or even if you don't get one this time, how many people have you contacted? It's a numbers game. It is.
Yep, that's right.
A lot of people say maybe no now, but it's not no forever, and maybe no at the moment. But with what you've got to offer, what a time for people to say yes. It's a very, very strong reason to say yes.
No, very good. Okay, moving along, because we've been going on for a little while now, so I'll let you wrap it, finish us off, Maureen.
I will. Thank you for your time, everybody. It's been, even though you're out there in the ether, I know you're there, and I'm so excited for you all, because I know you're with a wonderful leader in Paula, and you've got an incredible product and a business opportunity out there. So my little message to you is just be the leader that you would want. Effective leadership is now recognised as the most important factor in the execution of an organisation's strategy. The majority of strategies are not executed effectively unless the team feels that they have the skills and knowledge to succeed and are supported to achieve results. And I know Paula is that for you, and you just follow that and be the same for your own team.
Thank you.
Remember, believe the unbelievable. Dream the impossible. Take note of an answer. Thanks, everybody.
I love that.
All right, we'll just finish up now and say life always offers us a second chance, and it's called tomorrow.
Oops, sorry, hit the wrong button.
Thanks, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maureen, for spending the time and sharing your wealth of knowledge with us. And we will keep you posted on how we're going. I know the girls are excited to, looking at the survey and what they're wanting to achieve. I know they're excited to make July count. And with this information, it's a given. So we will keep you posted. And ladies, wishing you all the best, and I will be in contact and continual contact with you as well. So take care.
Go for that booking blitz, and I look forward to hearing the results. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.